How you doing, everybody? Hi, Mike. Mark and Todd and Eric. How you guys doing? Vincenero, as I cut out the middleman. I don't know that brand too well, Mark. I got to find out more about it. Hey, Todd, Mont Blanc, especially pre-owned. G-Shock delivers the best watch for the money, but that's probably not the kind of watch you were aiming at. That's right. I was thinking of the best mechanical watch. Excuse me. Um, Obviously, I think Larique is. You can't beat that. But other than that, something a little more general. Hey, Michael. Of all of the watches in my collection, the best bang for the buck, so to speak, is my perspective from your my is Parmigiani. That would be one of my top ones, Michael. I agree. Both the new and vintage pieces. Yeah, I guess the vintage really goes back only to about 2000 or so, isn't it? Some of the ones, the some of the Parmigianis I really are like the Toric and Ionic. Some of those that are very old. Hey, Mark again, Mark and Mark. How you guys doing? Hi, Paul. Hey, Graham, Brian. How are you guys? Good to see you. I I tell you, I don't think we've ever had a live session where the first thing that somebody said was what they thought had an opinion. And I'm so glad to see that. That's what I was hoping to get. Hi, Owen, JJ. Good to see you guys. Anyway, I thought it'd be fun if we talked about and as Eric had pointed out, maybe the G Shock is the best watch. Maybe it is for the most bang for the buck. What I was thinking of is more in terms of something, more like a really top watch, sort of the best on that part, and sort of overall best watch. I've got my opinion. I'll save it to the end. Like I said, the Larique, that's the top period. But other than that, something for another top watch that I think is still the best deal around. Hiya, Ivan, football fan. How are you guys? Vassal. Oh, good. Okay. Gustav, how are you? You know, one of the things, some of my favorite watches I cannot afford now, or I can't afford anymore. And so I like sort of to try to keep this in the affordability realm. I know that Mark J is his favorite watch is going to be FP Journe, and I don't blame him. But financially, they've sort of gone us and left us for another solar system, I think. So I'm looking at sort of more of a sort of like a generally really good watch that is affordable. Larique is not accessible to broader market. Too exclusive. Well, you're not wrong about that. I agree. Hey, Owen. That's Owen. That's a good one, Owen. Hi, Sam's dad's mustache. Sam's dad's mustache wax. Okay. How about a Rotto? Rottos are really good, but they're mainly the really known more for their cases and some of the materials that they've uh, gone into. They really don't haven't gone into movements. They tend to use other people's movements, and quite frankly, they'll use ETA and Salida movements. I don't think they've ever developed one of their own movements, to tell you the truth. But I do like Rado. I wore Rado for years. In fact, it was a Rado quartz. Had that for a long, long time. Hey, under Seiko, yeah, Seiko is really a lot of that, and especially in terms of the most bang for the buck. Tissot these days with their pricks. I like the I still like the Tissot with the 6498 in it that you can find it, for $350 or something. I love that watch because I like the movement so much. I agree with my Parmigiani is my favorite watches. I waited too long on the Toric. I tell you, I, that's it's in. I guess we. I guess looking back, sort of all we got to do is look at pre-pandemic. I was looking at some watches by the ones by Roth, Daniel Roth, and Roger Dubuis. And before the pandemic, my God, there were all of these bargains out there. Um, but their value has, I don't think their value has gone up. The recognition of their value has gone up. These incredibly good watches. They really are. Hamilton's a very good watch. I like Hamilton's. Fred Waxby's. I own 0 watches, but I'm learning to save your money. In other words, you still have money in the bank, Fred. How about a Longines Master Collection Moon Phase chronograph? Bang for the buck. Yeah, that's a lot. I tell you, speaking of Longines, I bought a Longines that I can't pronounce. The Longines Equation of Time watch. I forgot forgot the name of it. They've got this convoluted name, and that watch, I think, in terms of, it's the most bang for the buck for an Equation of Time watch. I'll put that in. But I've got a lot of respect for Longines. Paul Nomos. I tell you, you and Philippe Dufour would agree at least under 10,000. Parmigiani used to be accessible at 70-80% off occasionally. Can't beat that. I know. That was when I got mine. I still like them though, and you can still find some. I tell you, I found there's still, again, not being a chronograph fan, there is a fantastic Parmigiani chronograph on the Watch Outlet. In fact, they also have a fantastic steel. What is it called? Another Parmigiani on the Watch Outlet. That's more of a dress watch. I forgot the name of it. I was just talking about it the other day. Goose stuff, affordable. Well, now affordable again. That's a good point. Goose stuff, affordable to whom? It's sort of for affordable to from your perspective. That's all that really counts, isn't it? Glasuti original Chopard, Carl Boucher, Jaeger-LeCoultre, Bulgari, Hermes, Kadoki. Wow, Gustav, I agree with every one of those. Those are very good watches, and I think they're a lot. A watch that shouldn't be underestimated is Jaeger-LeCoultre, but they are, and I don't know why. They're excellent watches. Hi, Lostowitz. Good afternoon to you too. Are we considering all watches or only high horology? I had in mind high horology, Mark. High horology in terms of the quality of the work more than anything else, rather more so than the official definition that essentially is the Richemont's foundation definition. I think JLC. Yeah, that is a good one. Hi, Truman. The bel canto is interesting. Yeah, that's another thing. That's a good point about the bel canto. Here you have one by that's by don't tell me I know Ward. Christopher Ward. That is a good watch. Christopher Ward as a whole makes, I think, very good buy. Uh, Chopek. That's another one. Chopek is a very nice one. Longines Epimedes Solaris. That's it, Brian. That's the one I have. And it is a great watch. You got a watch with equation of time. It has an enamel dial. I don't have any other watches with an enamel dial. It's got not only the equation of time, but sunrise, sunset. It's just a cool watch. So, and it runs perfectly well. That's it was one that it was a watch that was done for their 185th anniversary or something like that. Maybe it was just 150th anniversary that they made that watch for. And so you can get certain watches that are sort of out of the mainstream. And to me, that's still a heck of a good buy. Harboring 2. Boy, that's a good one. That's another great one, Mark. Hi, Ton. I'm back for the doubleheader. Oh, great. Okay. Oh, by the way, too, let me tell you what we're going to do. All right. Let me give you, I'll put this down for now because there's a way that we can uh, switch. What happened? There's a way that we can switch over, but I don't know how to do it. I mean, without seamlessly. And so I'm going to put when we're finished here at 4:30. We're going to uh, go over to Lord Hellesponts the Fifth is having a. He's going to be having an interview. He wants to interview him about some things. I hope he has some other people too. So we're sort of going to go there at 4:30. That might be a lot of fun. We'll try something different, and he can put me on the hot seat if he wants. He will. Did anyone say Grand Seiko? Somebody said Seiko. Grand Seiko is another one. Blancpain. There's a lot of very, very interesting things. Blancpain has some nice ones there. Planet Earth, Carl Boucher. Yeah, I agree. He is a good one. JLC should really be part of the Trinity, but I think they are bad at marketing. Ivan, I think you may have hit the nail on the head. They're not very good at marketing. The funny thing is that Jaeger-LeCoultre was making the movements for all of these, like for Patek Philippe, for Vacheron Constantin. They may have even made them for Audemars Piguet, so the ones that are considered the Holy Trinity. Yeah, they're just good watches. My wife I got her years ago. I got her a reverso, one of the original reversals, but for the women's size, smaller one. This thing has been great, just a great, and it's mechanical. It's not one of these. A lot of times, the smaller watches they put quartz in. Everybody, not just Jaeger-LeCoultre. I personally think that Orage offers quite a good value for the money. Yeah, I've heard a lot of people say that, Thomas. They really like it the best. How about Ming Picanet? Um, Boy, I don't know what Ming movements are. Picanet. I did a video on that a while ago, and they're they're okay. Yeah, I mean they're not they're I think you get a good watch for the money. Oris standard horology is good. Yeah, I think so too. I really like Oris. How you doing, Canadian Watch Monkey? Hi, Bogdan. Oh, the MAD from MB&F. That would be one that would be a fun watch to have. I don't know if it really has what you'd call much horology, but I mean, in terms of the wandering hours or something like that that they have, it's a fascinating watch, and one I like a lot. But I don't know how much is in terms of what kind if they have very much horology in it. Ton, you like the mat also. Ming uses an Agenor chronograph in one of their models. That's true, Thomas. They do. See, this is another thing. Sometimes, like the Longines I had is probably totally unlike every other Longines because it was a special anniversary issue and so forth. And they really did something special with it. And the same thing with Ming. You've got your Ming Ming, and then you have one that they put an Agograph chronograph in, which is I don't think you can beat that as far as a chronograph is concerned. Another brand is Sin. A lot of people talk about Sin. I like Sin a lot, but Sin, they I Sin doesn't make its own movements. There's something they make really good watches around Solita movements, and that's it's not a bad. I mean, it's a really good watch in a lot of ways. My favorite Sin, if I could find one, is called a Sindial Hoyer, where Hoyer had one contract with the German Air Force, and then Sin got the contract for doing the servicing. And so when a Hoyer would come back from service, they would have Sin on it. I thought there's some of those around. That would be a fun watch to have. Um, Honestly, hard to beat Christopher Ward. Yeah, we talked about that. Yeah, Christopher Ward is quite good. Hi, Sam's dad. Let's see. Mercier. Bon et Mercier is like Rado. Very recently, they have what's it called? The Bomb-O-Matic or something like Bomb, something or other like that. Bomb-Matic, which is their automatic, which is made by Val Fluier. Uh, I know a lot of people who love the styles of Baume and Mercier. They just, I mean, and I do too. They have a lot of really great styles. The absolute best are vintage pocket watches. Yeah, they have some. I mean, they do have some great ones. I tried to take what I got was a key wound pocket watch, and I put it into a wristwatch case, and then I broke it, messing around with it. So much for my watchmaking skills. Maybe Chopard LUC. You know, Ton, that Chopard LUC, I think, is again a much underestimated watch, and I really have I agree. That's a really good one. Hi, Dean. I think Glashütte Original is a great value for the money. Yeah, um, a lot of brands like one of my favorite was Brigade Tradition, but and again this is me, not for everybody, but it just when they start stuffing in silicon hairsprings, it just no longer to me is a mechanical in the traditional sense. Now I know that's silly in a lot of ways, but there you have it. And swatchized everything with their including Blank Pound, including Brigade, including some of the other ones they own, including Glashütte Original. This is where my hesitation is. I think that maybe some of these watches, I think a Brigade Classique before they started putting uh, silicon in them would be a neat watch to have. The Brigade Type 21. That's a sports watch, isn't it? Like a diver, something like that. Ophion. Boy, Gustav, Ophion is a really good watch. The most interesting thing about Ophion, not only is the cases they use and some of the other aspects of their watches, um, but they have the most interesting movement in the Ophion. It was a God, I see this wrong. Techno time. They had a techno time movement. Techno time movement went under. It was bought by Festina, and Festina owns this company that is for watchmaking. And I think what they did, they took the techno time, I don't know, blueprints or whatever they had. They had this nanotechnology machine that they used, and they made them with it. I forgot the name of the company though, but it's an interesting, really interesting watch. The same thing is true with the Tree Lobe and Lane and Dornbluth and Son. Dark Star. Sinas also bought the Breitling net movement during the quartz crisis. During the quartz crisis, my God, that was a long time ago. Let's see. Girard-Perregaux. That's another one. I have actually I had two watches. I still have one of them. My original Vacheron Constantin overseas, the OS1 had a Girard-Perregaux that was fixed up by Vacheron Constantin. Oh. Hi, Hazy Eagle. About silicon, is it crosses the line? I yeah, there's it's just I don't know. Just something about it. I know all of the reason for it. I know why it's better than all of my watches that get magnetized, but I don't know. I had before there's sort of the move over to back to all mechanical watches. We were all using quartz watches. Had perfect time. They still do. And what's quartz? Quartz is simply silicon and oxygen. And so there the whole concept of mechanical watches that we like to collect is an archaic one. But it's on the other hand, man, I tell you, having all of these things go together based on nothing but the power of a mainspring, I think that's where all the genius comes in. And to me, that's why it's fun. And it's like it's cheating to put in silicon. One thing that's why you know, I was sort of never here nor there on Rolex. I mean, to me, yeah, Rolex made good watches and so forth. Never worried about that. It's just something about them didn't, either has an appeal or it doesn't. I didn't hate them, but I just was like, well, I'd rather have this watch instead. But boy, I tell you, when I found out that they had access to the silicon hairspring and decided to keep the parachrome in their main line of watches, my respect for them went sky high. And there's a reason, you hear all of these reasons why um, Patek Philippe. It's another brand. I just love that brand. I had a Patek Philippe, an older one, wonderful watch. But then they put that in, you go back. Well, that's why one of the reasons, and it may have been the main reason that the Geneva seal, they lost the Geneva seal. They said, no, that's out. You can't use that. So we're going to have our own stamp of approval, which I still think is one of the dumbest things that they ever did. And this is with a great respect for what Patek Philippe has. Zenith. Okay, there's one. I like Zenith. Peterman Badot. Gustav, the only thing wrong with Peterman Badot is that I can't afford it. It probably never will. There are all of these, and plus these young French watchmakers. They're real watchmakers. Boy, those guys, they're charging, 30, 60,000 bucks for a watch. It's not that they're not worth it. It's just I can't afford it. And so I was sort of looking for something more in sort of the affordable range. Watch consumers being marketed so heavily it's almost impossible to buy a desirable watch. It is ridiculous. I know, Ivan, you always tell me that. Okay. Um, Height this, the Type XX1 3817 is around 12 to 15. Okay. Thomas, Dornbooth. Those guys, I think, are really a good buy on a German watch. I'm not about to cozy up to any salesperson just to purchase a watch. I don't cozy up to, to salesperson. Um, there's some I like, and there's some that are sort of silly, really. Mechanical watch is more than timekeeping. You're right. Putting silicone, yeah. I mean, it's just something not right about it. It's sort of like putting whipped cream on filet mignon. It's just somehow they don't go together. Not with the traditional ones we have. Baltic. I don't know that much about Baltic Dark Star. Ulysse Nardine Marine Chronometer is a good movement. I agree. I'll tell you another one. One of my favorite Ulysse Nardine is the what's it called? The Not the rally, but the regatta. The regatta. That watch, I tell you, if if you've never seen the video that they did for the Ulysse Nardine regatta, you got to see that video. Not only does it show you what the watch can do, it's an exciting video. I mean, you can't most of these watch things, they have some slowly turning thing and some moaning woman or something dumb like that, or some guy that's, still got a six pack. I got a keg. Anyhow, that's it's but boy, I tell you, the one that Ulysse Nardine had was really super. Hi, Bud. Carl Buchner, Heritage Bio Biocompacts annual calendar. Yeah, they're good. Buchner bought THA, the thing that the watchmaking or movement making thing that FP Jorn and those guys and Valley Halter and some other guys put together. Hi, Donald. What about Nomos? Yeah, Nomos are good. I, I tell you the trouble with Bauhaus is that I have a hard time sort of warming up to it. Um, I there are a lot of Nomos watches I really like, but sometimes a two Bauhaus I don't know. It's but I do like Nomos, and I like the way Nomos treats things. The other thing, like you take also the Nomos Club. Here's for a very reasonable price. Some people, entering into this madness that we call watch collection. That's a one, that's something that I think is a neat way to get in. Yeah, the era wax beans is the a sort of contemporary, you know, we'll say the 21st century, but there's things I guess you could slip into the previous centuries. Ah, crap. Hi, hi, Rancher. I guess that means you just realize that we're just about finished. But listen, Rancher, we're meeting at 4:30. I'm gonna. Yep, it's time up. Let me do this. Okay, this is where we're all gonna head now to here. Let me put this in. We're all going here, and Lord Voltermont or Hellespont, what is his name? Something like that. It's gonna meet us there. So, hi, Hater. Fabergé ladies, is that Lady Levity? Yes, it is, Hater. That's a great one. Anyway, guys, listen. Okay, why don't you scoot on over to that? I just put up the link. I I'm going over there, and we're going to have our discussion there. See you there. Okay, take care. We'll see if this works.